Hello. For once, I'm going to at least try and pretend I can be serious on this YouTube channel. I'll likely post this too. But I must admit, I'm just trying to go off the cuff here without any notes. But I as somebody who's always had a dislike for most streamer culture, I admit I have been pretty distracted lately by what I've been seeing with this whole thing of Mizkif being accused and used as a sort of scapegoat, and all this kind of hypocrisy and frankly kind of scary level of narcissism and lying that I feel I'm seeing from I just realized I forgot I'm supposed to record from here too in case it sounds like crap. Let's do it. That I feel like I'm seeing from a lot of the approvable types. For at some point, Asmongold, I would say when I think of OTK, I think of Asmongold and I think of Emaru. And both of these people, I feel, in this very weird, unnatural way, have been poised as if they're like these truth tellers when they're just not. And I think that people, it's like all it takes for like a Redditor or whatever, or a Twitch person to think that someone's genuine is to hear somebody swear a bunch of times, and that's supposed to be genuine. But that's not what we do at Riley Ross Corp here. We analyze. Sorry, I'm trying to be serious. Um, but it became pretty clear this person, Mizkif, a couple months ago was being used as this sort of scapegoat or something. Where I listened to the testimony of both Emaru and Mizkif, and for some reason, a lot of people were saying, oh, Mizkif is obviously lying. I mean, I listened to both of them, and I'm sorry, but I just kind of thought the opposite. I felt like what Mizkif was saying, not just in terms of his demeanor, but also just the things he was saying in terms of his quoting other people, like his brother. I just thought what he said checked out. And on top of that, we're seeing more confirmation with this that should be obvious, such as this person Tectone. It has been proven in court that he very horribly treated a certain streamer, I think her name is Pikachu, almost like some sort of sex slave, forcing her to give him blowjobs and also just treating her very horribly. And maybe it's my own bias, but I just think, again, from watching videos from this person, Tectone, he just, again, strikes me as this very fake alpha person, like, with the neck beard and the tank top. It's like, and yeah, again, it's like for starters, the testimony, well, testimony should never be considered. It is on the internet, but it should never be considered evidence. I'm just saying, based on the testimony, I would say you should be treating what Mizkif says at least with equal footing, and I would say what he's saying, especially given the court cases, holds up. Especially given that he is prosecuting, I think, Emaru and Asmongold for defamation. It's like, why would the person who is prosecuting them, doesn't it sound like he's the one who doesn't have stuff to hide? But the main thing I want to talk about, I think, honestly, was how scary it is how this person, Tectone, a person who's practically been proven to be a rapist, is trying to now cover it up or memory hole people almost in a way like he thinks he can almost like admit to what he did and just say, oh, it wasn't a big deal. Where it sounds like he's taking advantage of people's lack of knowledge of courts and he's saying, like, oh, well, it's just a minor civil court case. It's like, no, he got a 10-year serious kind of restraining order. He's not even allowed to have guns. It's, yeah, he didn't go to jail, but frankly, I don't know why he didn't go to jail. He had 5 defense lawyers against this one poor girl who had one lawyer, and he still lost the case. I mean, but the irony is just a couple months when Tectone was apparently in the middle of being sued for this, he was lecturing Mizkif for a something that has nothing but just the testimony of Emaru that Mizkif may have sexually abused her a little. And again, well, first of all, I just don't believe that. Second of all, she even talked about something like, well, frankly, it is kind of weird the way they give these Twitch girls this weird princess treatment. It's like they confirmed that they were in a relationship, but like they also said that they never had any sexual interaction pretty much. Like, I'm not saying that has to be the case, but I'm just saying, like, don't you think this is a little weird, like just the way they talk about these people, like uh and according to Mizkif's testimony, this person Tectone even like talked to Emaru's parents behind her back and lied and said that he was like dating her to try and like gaslight her parents into getting like creepy stuff like that. But this person Tectone is cucking for, I guess, Emaru, who he has a crush on, and accusing Mizkiff of a crime that not only has no evidence besides testimony, but on top of that, frankly, wasn't quite as serious of a sexual abuse crime either. But it seems to me like still the majority supports that. I think the truth is that these people don't care about truth. They want to memory hole you. You know, that story about the rabbits, of starving a rabbits to death, I know it's not proven, it's Mizkiff's testimony, but notice how they are like completely memory holding that. They're like trying to do everything in their power to distract you from talking about that. Because if that is true, that's like obviously serious mental disorder stuff. Where apparently what he claims is that she spent her time, well, some of the time she spent streaming League of Legends and stuff and acting, ha ha ha, like herself. She had like at least five, I think it might have even been like 20 rabbits. And she liked showing like one rabbit on her stream, but she let them starve to death or barely took care of them to the point where they, at some point, they were even outside in the heat of Texas. I mean, that's just what it is, and that's crazy, and that's horrible. I mean, I had a rabbit growing up. It really freaks me out. And frankly, rabbits are not usually as hard to take care of as dogs and stuff anyway, for the record. I can't imagine paying for their food was an issue. Like, why didn't they at least like get someone to, like, I don't know. But my point is, my conclusion on that, if it's true, is that just this person Emaru and probably other people have serious mental disorders, and these psychopaths are so obsessed with their fake images that they just want to keep going with it. I mean, you see the same thing in Hollywood, you know, in the old days, like Audrey Hepburn or whoever, and then you hear of that weird Rothschild party where she has a MK Ultra cage around her head that happened in the 70s. Well, anyway, I'm just saying, I think people really underestimate the fakery of these people. And one thing I noticed too is that people often say that they're very genuine. Look how much they're swearing. Look how cool they are. It's like, are you serious? What if they're just not? What if they're just socially engineering? Like Asmongold, like how many more right-wing grifters do we need? And like that term right-wing grifter, people know. I mean, I'm not even sure if that's the accurate term. It's more like the, you know, rant about social justice forever and pretend you're being controversial. Copy paste Ben Shapiro or whoever. And apparently this guy Tectone was copy pasting his own friend Asmongold. And they keep going on about like this guy Hassan Piker. And yeah, Hassan Piker, I agree he's an idiot, but he's kind of an easy target, and they just got obsessed with this person. It's like, you're obviously not saying, you're just copying a bunch of other things everyone's already saying. And on top of that, by the way, Hassan Piker was friends with Asmongold and all these people and hanging out with them just like a year before, when people were already pointing out hypocrisies about Hassan Piker. So my point is, I think that their hatred of him is also staged. I think Asmongold just woke up one day and decided to say, okay, you know what, I hate him. But you see, these people don't care how irrational, like this person, Lakari, who's basically been proven without a doubt to be a pedophile with a lot of weird child porn links on his PC. Lakari is a part of their tribe, so they're just trying to not talk about it. They're trying to not talk about Lakari, they're trying to not talk about Tectone, because they want you to be gaslit into thinking Tectone isn't a creep. But it's still okay to say Mizkiff is a creep when there's clearly less evidence of that. It's pretty simple. Mizkiff, I don't know, maybe he must have had some problems to be a part of these psychos too at one point, but I think he's been used as a scapegoat. I think he's having a pretty cool redemption arc right now. Kicked out of Mount Olympus. I can't stand these people, these corporatized controversy idiots. It's kind of a concept that's actually being talked about in the second chapter of this manga I'm releasing hopefully soon. Not as soon as I wish. I was hoping for the end of this month. I'm only about halfway through. Yeah, it's taking forever. But my point is, these people don't underestimate the possibility that somebody like Tectone could actually get away with gaslighting his audience into thinking what he did isn't real. Because I believe it's possible that he will simply get away with being a rapist. It sounds crazy, and it should be crazy, but there are people who only care about their emotional attachment to these fake people. And these fake people, they don't care about truth. Okay? Mizkiff is branded as the Antichrist because that's convenient for them. Oh, look at his face. Oh, I always knew there was something fucked up about that guy. You know the way these people think, they're fucking stupid. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's pretty much it. Like, Asmongold, he used to work for the IRS. That frankly makes me not trust him already. Or, you know, they were going on about like that Twitch con where Emaru was assaulted, And yeah, that's terrible. But there were a bunch of stories the year before TwitchCon where someone broke their legs in some thing they didn't set up properly. There was people doing a bunch of drug abuse, like things, stories that frankly sound even more serious. But they only care suddenly when their little Twitch sweetie poo has something happen to them. And to be perfectly honest with you, I feel like the whole like idea of live streaming your personal lives so much is kind of asking for stalkers. Like, you could say it's kind of like, dressing provocatively in a public city and blaming everybody. Like, it's like, of course, nobody should be abusing you, but you can still do things to reduce that. You're still doing behavior repeatedly that seems to be encouraging it. Like, I think these people are just psychopaths who are just in some serious cycle of fakery. Um, I think there's a lot of loneliness. I think the solution really is just to do more socializing in real life, which there seem to be some pushes against. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. That's pretty much it. This subject was living like rent free in my head, so I had to talk about it. Hopefully, I can get away with not having to bother editing this. Goodbye.